Chapter 98. But 3 days have passed in a row, and the girl who was supposed to come tomorrow still hasn't shown up. Until this morning, when Chen Qingfeng opens the store again, he's pacing back and forth in front of the door before the sun has even risen. Suddenly, 2 familiar figures are reflected in his eyes. At the end of the street, a beautiful girl in a long black dress slowly walks over, holding the hand of a little boy who's even more beautiful than a child in a Buddhist temple. Behind them is a big and burly man with a face full of scars. Looking at them from afar, one can feel the threatening murderous aura coming from that man. But Chen Qingfeng simply doesn't care about being afraid of that man, and practically sprints over. "Miss, you're finally here. I thought you wouldn't show up again. Miss, you really are my savior, the draft you gave me. I've been afraid for the past few days that you wouldn't show up again. I can no longer repay your kindness." As he speaks, he bends his knees, about to kneel down. Mu Yang reaches out and gently supports him, easily lifting up the man's 70 to 80 kilogram body. "Let's go back to the store and talk." The girl's voice is cold and clear, as sweet and pleasant as an oriole's cry, but it inexplicably has a kind of irresistible charm. Chen Qingfeng promptly says, Yes, I'm so excited that I've become stupid. Let's go back first and talk." "Benefactor, this way. The group quickly arrives in front of the store. Before they enter, they see a grey-haired old woman standing at the door, constantly looking around. Seeing Chen Qingfeng coming over, the old woman immediately asks, "Feng, how is it? Has our benefactor come?" "Mother, why are you here?" Chen Qingfeng promptly runs over to support the old woman. "Your body has just gotten a little better. How could you catch a cold?" The old woman pushes Chen Qingfeng's hand away, and goes straight to Mu Yang and the others. Her drowsy gaze sweeps over Yang Haotian and Xiao Bao's faces, and finally falls on Mu Yang. An astonished light flashes through her turbid eyes. She didn't expect that the one who gave her son such a valuable draft and saved her life would actually be such a budding young girl. She also has such an outstanding appearance. The old woman slowly exhales and bends her knees before Mu Yan. "Benefactor, thank you for saving this old woman's life." Mu Yang usually had a careless attitude towards other people, but facing this kind of old man, she definitely couldn't accept such a big gift with a clear conscience. The languid expression on her beautiful face disappears, and Mu Yan promptly reaches out to support the old woman, softly saying, "Auntie, there's no need to be overly courteous, I'm not your benefactor. It's just an equal transaction with your son." Mother Chen shook her head repeatedly. "My eyes are blurred, but my heart is not blind. How could our shop be worth the price of that draft? If it weren't for your kindness, I wouldn't be regretted even if I died, but I pity my foolish son. He would definitely be dragged down by my illness." Mother Chen knew her son too well. As long as there was a glimmer of hope for her to be saved, Chen Qingfeng would never give up, even if he had to go bankrupt, or even pay with his life. But Mother Chen only had this one son. How could she bear for him to suffer? How could she bear to abandon him? And Chen Qingfeng's ending in the previous life also confirms Mother Chen's conjecture. Speaking up to hear, Mother Chen's eyes redden. She beckons to Chen Qingfeng, "Feng, quickly come and kowtow to this miss." Chapter 99. Without waiting for Mu Yang to stop him, he has already kowtowed 4 or 5 times. When he raised his head, he could see that his forehead was bruised. Mu Yang didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but she didn't stop them. If kowtowing in gratitude like this could make the mother and son of the Chen family feel at ease, she would accept it. But Mother Chen's next sentence makes Mu Yang reveal a surprised expression. "Miss, if you don't mind, let Qingfeng be your slave to repay your kindness." Mu Yang was startled. "You don't have to be so exaggerated, right?" "No, not at all. Our Chen family's ancestral teachings say that we must pay back what we owe. Miss, please give our Qingfeng a chance. He may be clumsy, but he will be loyal to you." Under Mother Chen's insistence, Mu Yang has no choice but to compromise. "There's no need to be a cow or a horse, how about this? It just so happens that after I buy the shop, I still need people to manage and help me. If young Master Chen doesn't mind, why don't you help me take care of the shop's business? I will pay you according to the normal price of a shopkeeper." "Not at all. Chen Qingfeng was so excited that his saliva flew everywhere. He wanted to shout loudly to express his sincerity. "It's my honor to work for you. I don't need any reward." Mother Chen also said, "Yes, young lady, we owe you that. How can we ask for a reward?" Mu Yang no longer argues. He thinks that it doesn't matter if he doesn't receive payment. Seeing that Chen Qingfeng's cultivation has been stuck at the early profound stage, when the time comes, he can just provide a draft that can help him advance. Thus, she smiled and said, "Auntie, my name is Jun Muyan. You can call me by my name in the future. This is my son, Xiao Bao. Xiao Bao, call me Grandma." Xiao Bao's handsome little face is expressionless, but when he hears Mu Yang's instructions, he still calls out in his childish voice, "Grandma." Such a young girl already had a son. Mother Chen and Chen Qingfeng showed a trace of surprise, but then they felt relieved. Whatever the benefactor did was right. Furthermore, her benefactor's son was so beautiful, it was as if he was carved from the same mold as her benefactor. Mother Chen couldn't help but exclaim, "What a handsome child." In fact, Mu Yang only bought Chen Qingfeng's shop to repay his kindness. Moreover, she had no interest in doing business at all. Therefore, for the next few days, she only brought Xiaobao along to cultivate in the space. The shop was still left to Chen Qingfeng to manage. At the same time, she also tries to use the Shun musician's auxiliary skill, Spring Snow, to refine all kinds of drafts. For example, the most basic draft used to supplement internal force, Mysterious Energy Filter. Because of the relationship between the formula, mysterious energy filters are more or less the same. Under normal circumstances, a bottle of mysterious energy filter can only replenish about 70% of a yellow stage martial artist's internal force. Moreover, if you take too much of the mysterious energy filter, the side effects of the medicine will also remain in the meridians. Therefore, he couldn't take too much in a short period of time. But the mysterious energy filter refined with the Spring Snow skill is catalyzed and purified by the Tianmo Qin's zither sound. Not to mention the fact that the mysterious energy filter can replenish more internal force, the most important thing is that its side effects on the meridians and qi have also been reduced to a minimum. After cultivating in the space for a few days, Muyan casually strolls around the store. However, he found that Chen Qingfeng was frowning. Chapter 100. As soon as he sees Muyan, Chen Qingfeng immediately comes over in shame. Hanging his head, he says, "Miss Jun, I'm sorry, I'm too useless. You spent a lot of money to buy this shop, but my shop can't make money for you at all. Instead, it's making you lose money." In fact, Mu Yang simply doesn't care about the income of these medicine shops. After all, she has the entire property of Jin Hong Men in her hands. But seeing Chen Qingfeng's distressed expression, she faintly smiles and says, "It doesn't matter. I'm just looking for a place to sell the drafts that I've refined." Ah. So it turns out that Miss Jun is an apothecary. Chen Qingfeng immediately says excitedly, "Could it be that the draft you gave me to treat insanity and tuberculosis was also refined by you?" Although he got the draft from Muyan's hands. But at the beginning, Chen Qingfeng had never thought that the person who would refine the draft would be Muyan. After all, Muyan looks too young. Mu Yang just faintly smiles, declining to comment. Chen Qingfeng promptly asks again, "May I ask what kind of drafts you're going to sell in the pharmacy?" Mu Yang flips her wrist and a porcelain bottle appears in her palm. She says lightly, "Sell this bottle." Chen Qingfeng carefully and excitedly takes it and examines it. When he sees the name of the draft that Muyan has engraved on it, he is dumbfounded. This is the mysterious energy filter. Chen Qingfeng blinked and said hesitantly, "That, Miss Jun, are you mistaken? Mysterious energy filter is the most basic draft, any apothecary can refine it, and we also have it in our pharmacy." That's right, in Chen Qingfeng's Chenji Medicine Hall, there was almost no medicine refiner that could be successfully refined, only ordinary medicinal ingredients. This was also the reason why almost no one came here. After all, eating ordinary medicinal herbs wouldn't bring much benefit. Of course, it has to be refined into a draft, only then can it have the best effect on a practitioner. But it's not like there's no draft in Chenji's drugstore. Like the mysterious energy filter, Qingshan powder, these kinds of most common and cheapest drafts, he would still take in a portion from time to time. Muyan carelessly says, "That's right, I asked you to sell this mysterious energy filter." Chen Qingfeng is even more dumbfounded. Only one bottle of mysterious energy filter? Are you kidding me? Not only are they selling the lowest level drafts, but there's only one bottle. There are still more than a dozen bottles of mysterious energy filters in the store's current stock. Mu Yang nods, unquestionable, sell one bottle. The expression on Chen Qingfeng's face was twisted. He cautiously asks, "Then Miss Jun, how do you think this draft should be priced?" This time, Mu Yang revealed a hesitant expression. Because she also didn't know how to price this new mysterious energy filter that she had refined herself. "Baby, how much do you think Nyangqin should charge for this mysterious energy filter?" Thus, Mu Yang lowers her head and asks her baby son. Xiao Bao raised his little head and looked at Mu Yang with his bright eyes, but he also revealed a blank expression. Xiao Bao also had no concept of money. Mu Yan's eyes turn, and she suddenly has a bright idea. There's a way. As she spoke, she took out a die from her bosom and handed it to Xiao Bao. "Baby, you throw it. We'll sell it for as many gold coins as you throw it." Chapter 101. Chen Qingfeng is dumbfounded. This, isn't the price of all mysterious energy filters the same? Since when can you use a die to set the price? The die grumbles as it spins, finally stopping at one point. Xiao Bao looks at that lone dot, unhappily wrinkling his dashing eyebrows. Too cheap. The draft that Nyangqin refines is so good, but it's only sold for this price. Chen Qingfeng promptly says with a smile, 100 gold coins is already a lot. The market price of mysterious energy filters is just like that. Even the most famous, Hongsheng drugstore, in Xi'an, with a mid-level apothecary overseeing it, can only sell a bottle of mysterious energy filter for 200 gold coins at most. At this time, he is already 100% sure that the draft that Muyan gave him to treat his mother's insanity and tuberculosis must have been purchased from outside. But it's also because of this that Chen Qingfeng feels that Muyan is willing to spend a lot of money to buy the draft for him to treat his mother. He should repay this benefactor even more, and must not let her down. Even if the mysterious energy filters that Miss Jun refines aren't good enough, he will definitely help sell them. Xiao Bao coldly shoots him a glance. Those beautiful blue eyes that look extremely similar to Muyan's are now filled with contempt. It's as if what Chen Qingfeng just said is a big joke. Chen Qingfeng has an inexplicable look on his face, and is just about to ask, then he hears an icy childish voice say, "Who told you it's 100 gold coins?" "Ah. Then how much is it?" 10,000 gold coins. Chen Qingfeng stumbles, and his head hits the table. But he simply doesn't care about the pain, and promptly straightens up. "Young master, don't joke around. This is the lowest level of mysterious energy filters, 10,000 gold coins for one. Even the Heavenly Road sect of Huang Yarrow wouldn't dare to sell it like this. You're not mistaken, are you?" Saying that, he looks at Muyan for help, hoping that she can correct Xiao Bao's wrong concept of money. Muyan hugs Xiao Bao and kisses him, beaming, "Baby, we'll sell it for whatever price you say." But Miss Jun, this can't be sold at all. The other mysterious energy filters in the store only sell for 100 gold coins. Muyan leisurely thinks to herself, "It doesn't matter, you can price this mysterious energy filter separately and sell it separately. If someone wants to buy it, you can sell it. If no one wants to buy it, I won't settle the score with you. How could anyone buy this?" Chen Qingfeng couldn't help but want to wail. Buying a bottle of mysterious energy filter for 10,000 gold coins, isn't that a fool? He wanted to persuade her again, but Xiao Bao shot him a cold glance. Her small mouth opened slightly, and she spat out 2 words, "Idiot." Chen Qingfeng froze. Mu Yang knocks her son's head, "Don't be rude to Uncle Chen." Xiao Bao wrinkles his little nose, and says with a snort, "How could it be an ordinary draft that Nyangqin refined? If you don't even know this, then what are you if not an idiot?" Mu Yang is tickled by her son's tsunda look, and she can't help but pinch his chubby little face. A blush flashed across Xiao Bao's handsome face, and then it immediately became cold again. Chen Qingfeng, on the other hand, was confused and wanted to ask. Mother Chen's voice came from the back door, "Just do what Miss Jun tells you to do. Why do you have so much nonsense?" Being reprimanded by his mother, Chen Qingfeng doesn't dare to say anything more. On the other side, Mother Chen has already brought out the steamed buns that she just made, and warmly invites Mu Yang and Xiao Bao to enjoy them. Chapter 102. Ah, you're welcome. Xiao Bao is so sensible. Xiao Bao turns his head and immediately brings the steamed bun to Mu Yan's mouth. "Nyang Qin, eat." Mu Yang lowers her head and takes a bite, smiling like a flower. The buns are really delicious." Xiao Bao also wants to eat. Only then did the little fellow bring the bun to his mouth and eat it like a little squirrel. Even when he was eating, Xiao Bao's handsome little face was cold and expressionless. However, that appearance was indescribably adorable and obedient, and could practically melt the hearts of all hardened hearts. Mother Chen couldn't help but exclaim, "Miss Jun, the relationship between you and your son is so good." When they snuggled together, everything else in the world seemed to stop. As long as there was a mother and son, it was already better than countless things in the world. Mu Yang lowers her head and kisses Xiao Bao's head, her expression gentle. "Millimeter, Xiao Bao is the best gift the heavens have given me." Xiao Bao looks up at Mu Yang, his blue eyes as bright as stars. The next day, the third day, Junji Drugstore, is still deserted from beginning to end. There are only flies flying around the counter. By the way, a few days ago, Chen family's drugstore has officially changed its name to Junji Drugstore. Moreover, it was changed under the strong request of Chen Qingfeng and Auntie Chen. According to Auntie Chen, they have already taken advantage of Mu Yan. Now that the pharmacy was Mu Yan's, of course, it couldn't be called Chen's pharmacy anymore. Otherwise, it would be no different from not giving it to Mu Yan. Mu Yang can't dissuade them, so she can only let them change it. On the third day, Chen Qingfeng was sitting in front of the counter, worrying. Suddenly, he heard noisy voices and messy footsteps coming towards his shop. "Tiandashao, are we really going to buy the mysterious energy filter in this shabby little pharmacy? Why don't we go to Hongsheng Pharmacy? This store looks a little too shabby." "Temph, don't you know that our young master Tian has a grudge against the young master of Hongsheng Medicine Hall? If we buy medicine from him, won't we be slapping ourselves in the face?" As they spoke, a group of people walked into the shop. There were a total of 5 people in this group, and the leader was a young man dressed in blue. He couldn't be considered handsome, but his eyes were like lightning, making people not dare to stare at him. He said impatiently, "All right, what are you arguing about? Isn't it just buying some mysterious energy filters? It's the same no matter where you buy it." Tiandashao is right. No matter how good the mysterious energy filter is, it will only have that kind of effect. Don't tell me that Hongsheng Drugstore can sell mysterious energy filters for a lot of money. When Chen Qingfeng saw these people, his spirit was immediately shaken, and he quickly got up to greet them. He was at the early stage of the profound stage, but he couldn't tell the cultivation of any of the 5 people in front of him. Therefore, these people were at least mystic stage middle rank and above. An ancient martial art practitioner with such a cultivation would usually be more extravagant in his spending. "Dear customers, may I know what kind of medicinal ingredients you would like to buy?" A short man next to the blue-clothed youth says, "Take out all the mysterious energy filters in your store for our Tiandashao. We'll buy as many as you have." All right. Once Chen Qingfeng hears that it's actually such a big business, he immediately smiles from ear to ear. "Customer, please wait a moment. I'll immediately go and take out the mysterious energy filters." The price of the mysterious energy filters in our shop is 100 gold coins per bottle. We guarantee that we will not cheat anyone. Soon, all the mysterious energy filters in the store are placed on the counter. There were only a few dozen bottles in total. Chapter 103. Chen Qingfeng blushes to his ears. Their shop is small and their profits are meager. Even the mysterious energy filter costs him a lot. So he doesn't dare to buy too much. He says shamefully, "I'm really sorry, this is all the mysterious energy filters in this shop." Just as he finishes speaking, he hears the little man loudly say, "What's that bottle? Isn't it mysterious energy filter written on it? The little man is astonishingly pointing at the mysterious energy filter that Muyan had refined. Chen Qingfeng coughs lightly and says, "This is indeed a mysterious energy filter, but it's a special mysterious energy filter refined by our shop owner, so the price is relatively high." Relatively high price? It's just a mysterious energy filter, how high could the price be? The little man mutters as he moves closer to take a look at the price tag. His eyes immediately go round, incredulously saying, "Are you kidding me? 10,000 gold coins for a mysterious energy filter? Why don't you just rob a bank?" In fact, Chen Qingfeng also wants to agree with their idea. But he still smiles and says, "Our owner has instructed us to do so. If you don't like it, you can also not buy it." 10,000 gold coins? Hehe, interesting. The blue-clothed youth suddenly opens his mouth. "This young master would like to see what kind of flower your 10,000 gold coins mysterious energy filter can produce." Humph, if you try it and this mysterious energy filter is only an ordinary product, don't blame this young master for smashing your broken shop when I come back. With that, the blue-clothed youth throws a bag of gold coins, picks up the mysterious energy filter and leaves. Before the short man left, he glanced at Chen Qingfeng with a sinister smile. "Smelly brat, you still don't know the identity of Tian Dashao? Tian Dashao is the youngest son of the city lord. You've eaten a bear's heart and a leopard's gall, even daring to blackmail Tian Dashao. Your shitty Junji drugstore, just wait for it to close down." With that, the little man swaggers away, leaving Chen Qingfeng in the same place with a face full of panic. He's so anxious that he's about to grab his hair. However, when he hurriedly reports the matter to Muyan. In exchange, Muyan only smiles lazily and leisurely. If he bought it, then he bought it, what's there to panic about? But, that person is the city lord's son, Tian Yongjin. If, alright, we'll deal with whatever comes our way. What's there to worry about? Mu Yang casually tossed a porcelain bottle into Chen Qingfeng's hands. "Here, this is the replenishment." As for the price, she looked at her son. Xiao Bao expressionlessly took out the die and tossed it again. This time, the die stopped at 4. Mu Yang is all smiles as she says, "Amen, then this mysterious energy filter will be priced at 40,000 gold coins. So it's happily decided." Chen Qingfeng almost fainted. Heavens! Even if a bottle of mysterious energy filter was sold for 10,000 gold coins, now it had unexpectedly risen to 40,000 gold coins. And happily decided. How could he be happy? What if the shop was really smashed? No, even if young Master Tian really wanted to take revenge, he had to shoulder all the responsibility. "I can't let Miss Jun get hurt." Chen Qingfeng grabbed his hair and walked away with a frown. Little Bao watched him leave and spat out another word coldly. Idiot. The next day, Chen Qingfeng opens the shop on time. The shop still doesn't have a single customer, but Chen Qingfeng is full of panic. From time to time, he would look outside the door, for fear of seeing young Master Tian's flustered and exasperated figure running over to seek revenge. Who knows, what he thinks will come true. Chapter 104. Who would have thought that it would come? Just after noon, he sees a group of people rolling into the Junji drugstore like a gust of wind. Leading them is Tian Yongjin, the one who bought the mysterious energy filter yesterday. His expression is agitated, his eyes are red, and he has an extremely furious look on his face. As soon as he enters the shop, he slaps the counter loudly, his voice even slightly trembling because of extreme excitement. "Mysterious energy filter, yesterday's mysterious energy filter." Chen Qingfeng inwardly cries, "It's over. Tian Dashao has really come to settle accounts." His face is deathly pale, he's shivering with fear, but he still clenches his teeth and says, "Tian Dashao, yesterday I made a mistake. I made a mistake in the price of the mysterious energy filter. It has nothing to do with my boss, less of your fucking nonsense." Tian Yongjin bellows. With great difficulty, he catches his breath and says urgently, "Yesterday's special mysterious energy filter, give this little grandpa, pack it all up. This little grandpa will buy it all. Tian Dashao, I'm willing to compensate you double the price of that mysterious energy filter. Please be magnanimous." "Hey, wait." Chen Qingfeng's voice comes to an abrupt halt, his eyes widening as he says, Tiandashao, what did you just say? Didn't you want to return the special mysterious energy filter? And didn't you want to settle accounts with our Junji drugstore? Return what return? This little grandpa wants to buy all the special mysterious energy filters in your shop. Hurry up and give it to me. Chen Qingfeng is in a trance. He doesn't know what day it is today. His mind even flashes with the thought that Tian Yongjin might have been cheated stupid. If he wasn't stupid, why would he buy a mysterious energy filter for 10,000 gold coins, and then run back to buy a second one? He looks sluggish as he takes the second mysterious energy filter that Muyin gave him yesterday from the cabinet, and hands it to Tian Yongjin. Tiandashao, thank you for your kindness, 40,000 gold coins. What? 40,000 gold coins? Tian Yongjin scowls. Wasn't it only 10,000 gold coins yesterday? Why did the price increase today? You're not trying to swindle me, are you? It's only now that Chen Qingfeng has somewhat returned to his senses. He shakes his head like a rattle drum. Tiandashao, this special mysterious energy filter is refined by our boss, and the price is also set by the boss. Every day the price may be different. You ask this lowly one also has no way. Alright, 40,000 gold coins it is. It's not that I can't afford it. Tian Yongjin waved his hand impatiently. But how is one bottle enough? Go and take out all the stock in the store. Chen Qingfeng swallowed his saliva. But the owner only gave me one bottle. Therefore, in our entire pharmacy, we only have this one bottle of the special mysterious energy filter. What a joke. Tian Yongjin was furious. Who the hell is your boss? She doesn't even give face to my Tian family. Go and call her out. Chen Qingfeng's face was full of awkwardness, and he hesitated for a moment. At this moment, another man's voice comes from the door. Tiandashao doesn't want this special mysterious energy filter, I want it. Hearing this voice, Tian Yongjin's already unsightly complexion immediately darkens. He turns his head to look at the newcomer, and says through gritted teeth, Wang Jiaqin, why are you here? The newcomer is dressed in dark blue, and is waving a folding fan in his hand. He has a confident and elegant appearance. Chen Qingfeng recognizes this person, and he immediately shows a shocked expression when he sees him. Chapter 105. However, why would the young owner of Hongsheng drugstore run to their small, remote drugstore to buy mysterious energy filters? Wang Jiaqin waves his folding fan, smiling in a romantic manner. You, Tian Yongjin, can come, why can't I? He, I thought that in today's beast fighting competition, the white wolf under Tian Dashao's hand would suddenly be so brave and fierce, turning defeat into victory. Turns out it was here that we found the miracle medicine. Tian Yongjin's face turns green and white, turning his head to glare at the guard and the short man beside him. It's all because of these useless things, they didn't even notice that they were being followed. Unexpectedly, this Wang Jiaqin followed them here, and found out the secret of the special mysterious energy filter. It turns out that last night, Tian Yongjin and Wang Jiaqin had agreed to duel in the beast fighting coliseum. However, it wasn't the two of them who were fighting, but two carefully selected strange beasts. One was a red flame leopard. The other was a white ice wolf. Both strange beasts were early profound stage, but because of the nature-restraining relationship, Wang Jiaqin's leopard firmly suppressed Tian Yongjin's white wolf. Although it wasn't to the extent of defeat, the consumption of internal force was extremely fast. Unfortunately, Tian Yongjin didn't buy enough mysterious energy filters, and the quality wasn't good enough. He watched as the last bottle filled with mysterious energy filters was bitten by the white wolf, and the leopard only took half of the mysterious energy filter. Tian Yongjin thought that he would definitely lose, and was so angry that he swept all the fruit cups and plates in the private room to the ground. Wang Jiaqin, on the other hand, was leisurely and incomparably carefree. However, the next moment, something incredible happened. Because of excessive consumption of internal force and excessive use of the mysterious energy filter, the white wolf, whose body was covered in scars, suddenly opened its eyes. Its body erupted with a powerful and frightening momentum. Roar! A loud noise shook the sky, but the leopard on the opposite side whimpered a few times, retreating a few steps in fear. In the private room, Tian Yongjin and Wang Jiaqin simultaneously stood up, their faces revealing a look of horror. Because at that moment, they discovered that the white wolf's strength had advanced from early profound stage to middle profound stage. A profound stage mid-tier winter frost white wolf against a profound stage early-tier scarlet flame leopard, the result could be imagined. The leopard didn't even have time to swallow the rest of the mysterious energy filter before it was smashed into meat paste by the white wolf, dying on the spot. How could Tian Yongjin have imagined that his loss would be reversed at the last moment? Seeing the ugly expression on Wang Jiaqin's face when he came out of the private room, Tian Yongjin laughed out loud and immediately ordered his men to bring the white wolf over. What was strange was that white wolf's current cultivation had actually dropped to the early stages of the profound stage. However, his body didn't have any side effects of taking the drug. On the contrary, he was full of energy, and even his original injuries were healing quickly. Even if Tian Yongjin was a fool, he would still be able to guess that this was the effect of the mysterious energy filter he bought for 10,000 gold coins. A bottle of mysterious energy filter that could let a strange beast break through from the early stages of the profound level to the middle stages of the profound level in a short period of time. A bottle of mysterious energy filter that doesn't have any side effects after taking it. Instead, it can make one's mental state better. This kind of special mysterious energy filter was sold for 10,000 gold coins. It really wasn't expensive at all. No, not only was it not expensive, it was simply too cheap. Tian Yongjin waited patiently for another 16 hours. That's because the side effects of ordinary drafts would only take 16 hours at most. After 16 hours, that white wolf was still full of energy, and the internal force in his body was even more intense. Chapter 106. 16 hours later, that white wolf is still glowing with health and vigor, and the internal force within his body is even more intense. Tian Yongjin is simply ecstatic, and immediately rushes over to Junji drugstore. But he doesn't know that the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. After that Wang Jiaqin lost, he was extremely unreconciled, and went as far as to secretly tail him, following him. Now he still wants to compete with him for this one and only mysterious energy filter. After Wang Jiaqin taunts Tian Yongjin, he immediately looks at Chen Qingfeng. This special mysterious energy filter in your shop, I'll take it all. Whatever price this guy offers, I'll double it. Tian Yongjin grits his teeth. Fuck off. This bottle of mysterious energy filter is what this father saw first. Don't even think about snatching it. Isn't it just gold coins? Do you think this father doesn't have it? Tian Yongjin is so angry that he bursts out with profanity. He quickly fishes out a large bag of gold and throws it on the counter. Here's 80,000 gold coins. This little grandpa is taking the mysterious energy filter. He turns around to leave, but is stopped by Chen Qingfeng. Tiandashao, Wangdashao, the owner has ordered that the special mysterious energy filter will only be sold at a fixed price, and will not be auctioned. Moreover, only one bottle will be provided every day, first come, first served. I ask for the two of you to forgive me. Chen Qingfeng respectfully conveys Muyan's instructions. His whole person is already close to a Spartan. God, forget about 10,000 gold coins, 40,000 gold coins, 80,000 gold coins, they're actually scrambling to buy it. This is just a mysterious energy filter. Could it be that the mysterious energy filter refined by Miss Jun is really that miraculous? Wang Jiaqin's complexion suddenly turns somewhat unsightly. There's money to be earned. Is there something wrong with your owner's head? Chen Qingfeng frowns, but still politely says, I'm sorry, this shop will definitely comply with the owner's instructions 100%. Tian Yongjin laughs heartily. At this moment, he's finally vented a bit of his anger from being followed by Wang Jiaqin. He waves the mysterious energy filter in his hand at Wang Jiaqin, and proudly smiles. Sorry first come, first served. Today this mysterious energy filter is this young master's. Saying that, Tian Yongjin swaggers away. Wang Jiaqin gritted his teeth, but he still suppressed his anger and looked at Chen Qingfeng. Then I can book it for tomorrow, right? This won't do either. Chen Qingfeng bit the bullet and said, Boss has stipulated that only one bottle of each medicine will be sold every day. No bargaining, no pre-orders, first come, first served. All right. Good. I've never seen such a strange rule. Tomorrow, this young master must buy your so-called special mysterious energy filter. I'd like to see whether or not your boss's level of alchemy matches his bad temper. After that, Wang Jiaqin left with an ugly expression. Chen Qingfeng stood there in a daze for a long time. He looked down at the 40,000 gold coins on the counter, and then at the empty shelf. With a bang, he stood up, quickly closed the door, and rushed to the backyard. How could he open a shop? A bottle of mysterious energy filter sold for 40,000 gold coins. 40,000 gold coins. This was equivalent to half a year's income of their shop. Oh, today's mysterious energy filter was also bought by someone? Mu Yang's expression is tranquil. So what if it's bought? Why are you so surprised? But Keek, but that's mysterious energy filter are, 40,000 gold coins are. Miss Jun, what kind of magic does the mysterious energy filter that you refined have? Why is it sold at such an outrageous price, and they're still frantically snapping it up? Chapter 107. Chen Qingfeng was stunned. He didn't understand why the topic suddenly changed. But he didn't even think about it. He took the medicine and drank it in one gulp. A moment later, he suddenly felt a burning sensation in his dantian. Sit down and meditate. Hearing Mu Yang's voice, Chen Qingfeng didn't even think about it and immediately did as he was told. An hour slowly passed by. Chen Qingfeng opened his eyes and stared blankly in front of him. Suddenly, he jumped up from the ground. I broke through to profound stage early level, Miss Jun. I broke through to profound stage middle level. Yes, it's nothing to be surprised about. Muyan is holding a book in her hand. She lightly flips a page and leisurely says, "This bottle of draft is called the filter of barrier breaking. It's used to break through bottlenecks, but it's only effective for practitioners below Earth stage." When Chen Qingfeng heard this, he was shocked and wanted to kneel down on the spot. Only when Muyan's threatening gaze sweeps over him, does he stand shakily. But then he thinks that Mu Yang has actually refined a draft that can help him break through bottlenecks, and she even let him eat it so casually. He had the urge to pass out and see if he was dreaming. Muyan casually pulls out 2 bottles of drafts, with the words mysterious energy filter and filter of barrier breaking written on them. Add a bottle of filter of barrier breaking to the drafts that will be sold tomorrow. Chen Qingfeng stupidly took it. Would you like to invite the young master over to roll the dice to set the price? No need. Mu Yang smiled faintly and said, Xiao Bao went out to play today, so let's just use yesterday's price. Chen Qingfeng asked, the mysterious energy filter is sold for 40,000 gold coins, then how much is the filter of barrier breaking? 400,000 gold coins? Mu Yang raises her eyebrows and glances at him, a smile that isn't a smile. Chen Qingfeng immediately straightened his back and said loudly, I know, the price of the filter of barrier breaking is 4 million gold coins. As soon as the words left his mouth, Chen Qingfeng felt even more dizzy. Heavens, 4 million gold coins. Even if his shop was multiplied by 10 times, it would still not be enough. However, he didn't think that the price was outrageous. Think about it, a draft that can help people break through bottlenecks. I've never even heard of it before. No matter how expensive it was, how could no one buy it? Chen Qingfeng hurriedly walks away. He has to make arrangements on how to introduce this new draft to Tian Dashao and Wang Dashao tomorrow. Mu Yang looked at his back, but couldn't help but smile and shake his head. If Xiao Bao were here, he would probably call him an idiot again. Oh, but her baby had been out for a day, why wasn't he back yet? Outside Xi'an, in a remote kernel. This place was desolate and uninhabited, and even birds and beasts rarely passed by. Suddenly, white light shone brightly in the kernel. For some reason, rolling thunder clouds suddenly appeared in the clear blue sky. It was as if the entire sky was about to collapse. However, this situation only lasted for about 10 minutes. The thunderclouds came and went quickly dispersing. The sky was still clear and bright. At the place where the white light flashed, 2 tall figures appeared. The moment these two figures appeared, in the forest not far from the col, tens of thousands of beasts galloped, as if they wanted to rush out, but also as if they were afraid and wanted to escape. High up in the sky, countless birds formed their original forms, circling and fluttering, letting out cries. Their cries seemed to be welcoming, but if one listened carefully, it would carry a deep sense of awe. Chapter 108. Ming-ju doesn't respond to Han Yi's words, nor does he pay attention to the vision of heaven and earth. He goes straight towards Xia-an. As he walks, his brows furrow fiercely. Damn it! Because his real body has descended to the Yenwu continent, his cultivation has been suppressed to the limit that this continent can bear. So much so that he can't even teleport and fly. Otherwise, he could appear in front of Mu Yang in a flash. He doesn't know if that little woman would be surprised to see him. Would she throw herself into his arms? Thinking of this, Ming-ju's ears slightly redden, and his pace quickens. If Han Yi were to hear his Jun Shong's thoughts, he would definitely vomit 3 liters of blood. Jun Shong, where do you get the confidence to think that Miss Jun would throw herself into your arms? It's already good enough that she doesn't send you flying with a kick. The two of them walk extremely fast. Even though they're both walking, it's as if they're flying. In just a short moment, they've already entered Xia-an. Because he gave Mu Yang a kiss of vow, Ming-ju quickly determines Mu Yang's position. He's about to rush over at top speed, but Han Yi stops him. Cough. Jun Shong, you're not going directly to Miss Jun, are you? Hearing that, Ming-ju impatiently shoots Han Yi a glance. His eyes were cold and gloomy, clearly saying, "Are you an idiot? Ben Jun came to the lower realm to find that woman. If I don't go directly to her, should I still be playing around in this spiritual energy barren place?" Being looked at by his Jun Shong with such a look of disgust, 10,000 grass mud horses gallop through Han Yi's mind. He makes a bitter face and lightly coughs once again. Jun Shong, this subordinate heard that in the Yenwu continent, there is a rule that if a man wants to pursue a woman, then he must give her a gift. Especially after a long separation, when visiting for the first time, he would prepare a generous gift for the other party and their family. This can increase the other party's favorable impression of you. Ming-ju's handsome face stiffens, and he coldly says, "Ben Jun needs to increase the favorable impression? No need, no need." Han Yi immediately praises, "Jun Shong, you're extraordinarily handsome, brilliant, and powerful. There's no woman in the world who wouldn't like you, and wouldn't want to throw herself into your arms." "Give what?" Han Yi hasn't finished speaking when his master's cold inquiry is suddenly heard. His voice stops abruptly, and he dumbly looks over. Ming-ju impatiently says, "Jun Shong Jun, what should I give to that woman?" Me. He's not trying to please that little woman. It's just that since she's destined to be his, Ming-ju's, wife, what's the harm in spoiling her in advance? Han Yi abruptly comes back to his senses. He looks around, and points at a jewelry store not too far away. "Jun Shong, why don't we go there and take a look, and pick a gift? Things from the Shoshen continent can't be brought to the Yenwu continent, otherwise, it would destroy the balance of the Yenwu continent." That's why Ming-ju and Han Yi are alone this time. Even their clothes are the most ordinary. Only Han Yi carries some gold and silver pearls that don't have any spiritual power. In the Shoshen continent, no one would pick them up even if they were to be thrown on the ground. Ming and Tututu, Jin and An and Ming-ju, and Yi. As approaches, Ju he. This to him. And Dao. Ming G Ming Ming. He Q Ming-ju is Ming shop. Chapter 109. Wouldn't he, Ming-ju, lose face by giving away this kind of vulgar object? Thinking of this, Ming-ju coldly glares at Han Yi. Han Yi expresses that he really feels wronged. The Yenwu continent's enchantment is too weak, and its endurance is too poor. He can't bring down the treasures of the Shoshen continent. Can he be blamed for this? "Jun Shong, take a look over there. I see that the jewelry over there isn't bad, barely worthy of Miss Muyan." Ming-ju looks over and sees an exquisite glass cabinet in a corner of the huge shop. There are only a few pieces of jewelry in the cabinet. It really looks a bit better than those vulgar objects outside. Ming Ju's eyes brighten when he sees a white jade hairpin. This white jade hairpin is sparkling and translucent. Under the light, the chalcedony inside seems to be gurgling and flowing. The most amazing thing is the hairpin that's made into the shape of a phoenix's tail. There's obviously no other color embellishment, but the white jade carving gives people a sense of elegance and grace. Only this jade hairpin is barely worthy of his woman. Ming Ju quickly walks to the glass cabinet, his slender fingers lightly pressing on the glass. That glass instantly turns into fine powder. The white jade hairpin is revealed, appearing even more radiant and vibrant, extraordinarily noble. Ming Ju reaches out to grab the white jade hairpin. Just as he's about to pick it up, he suddenly feels a heavy force on his hand. He sees that the other end of the jade hairpin is caught by a fair and tender little hand. Ming Ju frowns. He hates it the most when his things are touched by others. Of course, Muyin is an exception. But when he looks up and sees the person in front of him, he stares blankly for a moment. Standing in front of him, the one holding the white jade hairpin is a little boy of only 4 or 5 years old. A small pink face, delicate and handsome features, indescribably cute like snow jade. But the most attractive thing is that pair of ice blue eyes. Although there are no fluctuations of emotion on his face or in his eyes, those big eyes seem to reflect the brilliance of the sun, moon, and stars, making people unconsciously attracted. When Ming Ju sees the child in front of him, he stares blankly for a full 3 breaths. His heart is inexplicably throbbing with a strange emotion. He clearly hates it the most when other people touch his things. In his eyes, the mortals of the Yenwu continent, except for Muyin, are no different from ants. He doesn't even bother to look at them. But for some reason, he couldn't bring himself to kill the little boy in front of him. At this moment, the little boy's cold voice sounded, "Let go." After saying that, he exerted force in his hand, intending to snatch the white jade hairpin away. But how could Ming Ju let others take away his things? His face sinks, and the inexplicable emotions in his heart are dispelled in a flash. He narrowed his eyes and said coldly, "Little guy, I saw this first. I saw it first." What responded him was a cold childish voice. "You stole my stuff, shameless." On the side, Han Yi inhales a mouthful of cold air, his complexion turning green and white. Heavens, does this kid want to die? They actually dared to call their Jun Shong shameless? Ming Ju's eyes are already emitting a dense cold light, an invisible pressure is unconsciously released. If you have the guts, say it again. The terrifying pressure instantly froze the air in the shop. The boss and the guests in the treasure pavilion are also startled. Some people scramble to escape, some people shiver and hide under the table, even Han Yi's eyes are aghast. Chapter 110. But strangely, the little boy who bears the brunt of Ming Ju's pressure seems to feel nothing. He glares at Ming Ju without flinching, saying word by word, "Shameless. This is mine." As he spoke, he pulled back forcefully. With a clatter, the jade hairpins in their hands broke into 2. Both of them looked at the remaining half of the jade stone in their hands. Both of them were clearly more handsome than the other, but their expressions were more terrifying than the other. Just a moment ago, it was only Ming Ju who released his frightening pressure. Now, even the little boy's body has a frightening momentum that surges out like a tide. The customers and the boss were so scared that they almost peed their pants. Han Yi, on the other hand, is incredibly shocked and incredulous. Who was this little boy? How could she compete with his family's Jun Shong in terms of coercion and momentum? One must know that his family's Jun Shong's cultivation level was extremely high. Once the emperor became angry, thousands of miles would kneel. Even in the Xiuxian continent, under the Jun Shong's anger, everyone could only tremble. Even if he's currently suppressing 90% of his strength, this is the Yenwu continent R. This little boy can't even cultivate his spiritual power. But how could he directly contend with his Jun Shong? Could it be that he was dreaming? The boy in the treasure pavilion was none other than Little Treasure. In the past, when he was still living in the Nameless Valley, Xiao Bao would often go out of the mountain alone and accept some secret transactions. He didn't need to show his face in mercenary missions, and the money he earned would be used to buy things for Mu Yang. Therefore, the golden leaves in his hands were truly earned by him, and not given to him by Mu Yang. Today, he came out because he saw Chen Qingfeng giving Grandma Chen a gift. Only then did he remember that he hadn't bought a gift for his mother for a long time. Only then did he run out to stroll around the streets. It wasn't easy for him to find a white jade hairpin in the treasure house. He felt that it was barely worthy of his mother. He wanted to buy it, but he didn't expect that a shameless man would come out and compete with him. "You broke my mother's things, you have to pay." Xiao Bao frowns, glaring fiercely at Di Mingju. Di Mingju grinds his teeth. "Little guy, this is mine, mine." The two of them refused to give in to each other, and the invisible pressure emanating from their bodies grew stronger and stronger. Even the entire shop started to shake slightly, and dust fell from the roof beams. "Sir, please be merciful, please be merciful." Seeing that he was about to lose his shop, the boss no longer cared about his fear. He crawled over and wailed, "Sir, young master, please calm down, please calm down. Do you want to buy this white jade phoenix tail hairpin? There are more in the store. I guarantee that it's even more beautiful than the phoenix tail white jade hairpin. Don't fight anymore. If this goes on, I won't be able to keep my shop." As he said this, the boss scrambled to the bottom of the counter where his handprint was and took out the 2 brocade boxes. When he opened the brocade box, he saw that it was not the white jade phoenix tail hairpin. Instead, it was a bracelet and a pair of earrings. Although it wasn't the phoenix tail white jade hairpin, the jade bracelet and earrings were of the same quality. Moreover, the workmanship was even more complicated and precise. Under the illumination of the light, it appeared even more otherworldly. "Mph, you're barely worthy of my mother." Xiao Bao thought for a moment, then tiptoed and took the dragon and phoenix white jade earrings. "Mph, you're barely worthy of Ben Jun's woman." Di Mingju thought for a while, then with a wave of his hand, he put the dragon and phoenix white jade bracelet into his sleeve. Chapter 111. The boss wipes the sweat from his forehead and takes a deep breath, rejoicing at the fact that he has survived a disaster. Han Yi steps forward and throws out a sparkling and translucent sapphire. "This should be enough to exchange for these 3 white jade jewelry, right?" The boss looks at the quality of the sapphire and immediately smiles. "It's enough, it's enough." Although these 3 white jade jewelry are exquisite and beautiful, sapphire is something that can only be found by chance and not sought. Such a large piece can be carved into many different shapes. Let alone 3 pieces, even adding 3 more wouldn't be a problem. Han Yi smiles at Xiao Bao. "This little Gongzi, what happened just now was purely an accident. As an apology, we'll pay for your white jade earrings." Di Mingju coldly snorts, his complexion unkind, but he doesn't stop him. Who would have thought that Xiao Bao wouldn't appreciate it at all? He fishes out 2 gold leaves from his bosom, jumps on a chair, and throws them in front of the boss. "Keep the change." The boss goes unable to contain his joy. Just now, he thought that he was out of luck, but who knew that he would actually take advantage of it? Xiao Bao drops the gold leaves, then coldly glares at Di Mingju. Only then does he jump off the chair and leave. Di Mingju watches the little bean sprout's figure go far away. He slightly narrows his eyes, and only after a long while does he say, "Let's go." The boss holds the sapphire and gold leaves in his hands and caresses them, smiling so much that his face can't be seen. Suddenly, his complexion changes. He looks up in panic, wanting to call Di Mingju and Xiao Bao to come back. However, when he looks outside the door, the figures of those 3 people are nowhere to be seen. The boss immediately frowns, revealing a guilty and ashamed expression. "Oh no, I was too scared and happy just now that I actually forgot to tell the 2 honored guests one thing. The great master who originally made this pair of white jade dragon and phoenix jewelry once said, the white jade earrings are carved with a phoenix, and the white jade bracelet is carved with a dragon. The dragon and phoenix must be worn on the same body, to bring out the harmony of the zither and the harp, and the meaning of peace and happiness. If they were separated, it would represent the parting of labor and the parting of birds. This is also the reason why the boss didn't casually put this pair of dragon and phoenix jewelry up for sale. These two honored guests gave him so much money, but he didn't tell them such important information. It's really, really hard for his conscience. Young master, you're back. Chen Qingfeng was happily calculating the income and expenses of the shop when he saw a small figure walk in from the door. Little Bao paid no attention to him and walked directly into the rear courtyard, and his handsome little face was tense from the beginning until the end. Chen Qingfeng couldn't help but shiver. Although Xiao Bao was usually like a little adult, the aura he emitted was more frightening than that of a high-level ancient martial art practitioner. But for some unknown reason, Chen Qingfeng felt that Little Bao made him feel even more fearful today, and he felt even more afraid to get close to him. Xiao Bao passed through the backyard and soon saw Mu Yang, who was lying on a rattan chair and reading a book. The moment he sees Mu Yan, the curve of his taut little face softens a little. He quickly goes to Mu Yang's side, and with a few steps, he climbs up the rattan chair in a very practiced manner and snuggles into Mu Yang's arms. Mu Yang hadn't seen her son for a long time today, so she missed him very much. Seeing that he was still sticking to her when he came back, she immediately hugged him and kissed him. "Baby, did you have fun outside today?" Little Bao shook his head with a taut face. "I'm not happy." Chapter 112. Xiao Bao flattens his small mouth, hugs Mu Yan, and rubs his little head against her chest. "Nyang Qin." Xiao Bao wants to become stronger, to protect Nyang Qin. The little childish voice is muffled, carrying a trace of unwillingness. He knows that the man he met today is very strong, and is completely not his opponent. If that man insists on competing with him for Nyang Qin's gift, he can only return empty-handed today. Today, he's only competing for the white jade phoenix tail hairpin, but what if one day, there's a bad guy as strong as that man who comes to compete with him for Nyang Qin? He doesn't want to give Nyang Qin to someone else. Moreover, he can't beat that man, it must be because he's still young. As long as he grows up quickly, he'll definitely be more powerful than that man. Mu Yan sees him sullenly acting like a spoiled child, and indignantly swearing an oath, and finds it somewhat funny. She strokes his little head and says, "Xiao Bao is already very powerful. When Xiao Bao grows up, he'll definitely be even more powerful. At that time, Xiao Bao will have to protect Nyang Qin." Xiao Bao solemnly nods, then he remembers something and straightens up his little body. A white and tender little hand covers Mu Yan's eyes. The little face is still ice cold, but the deep blue eyes are sparkling. "Nyang Qin, close your eyes first." When her baby son does this, Mu Yan knows that he's going to give her a gift. She obediently closes her eyes. After a moment, she hears the little childish voice say, "You can open them now." As soon as Mu Yan opens her eyes, she sees her son's little hand holding a pile of earrings with white jade pendants. Although they're only two very small earrings, the phoenix carvings at the bottom are extremely exquisite and beautiful. She picks one up and gently shakes it, as if the white jade phoenix is about to spread its wings and soar. Xiao Bao looks at her with a pair of big watery eyes. His voice is still ice cold, but it carries a trace of soft expectation. "Nyang Qin, do you like it?" "Ian, I like it." Nyang Qin likes it so much. Mu Yan hugs her son and kisses him, letting him help her put it on. Holding her son, she walks to the water's edge. Looking at the reflection of the two in the water, their similar facial features and snuggling figures, Xiao Bao's cold brows are tinged with a gentle smile. Mu Yan and her mother are enjoying their sweet and happy family time. Suddenly, the deafening sound of gongs and drums, as well as the clamor, came from outside. Just as Mu Yan is feeling strange, she sees Auntie Chen hurriedly walking over, her face full of worry as she says, "Miss Jun, there's a group of people outside who claim to be from Jin Wangfu looking for you." "Jin Wangfu?" Mu Yan raises her eyebrows. Auntie Chen glances at Xiao Bao, wanting to say something, but then hesitates. "They said that Jin Wangye of Huangyaro country has taken a fancy to you, and wants to take you as a side fae." Mu Yang doesn't have the time to react. Next to her, Xiao Bao's little body was already stretched taut, and his snow-white face suddenly radiated an intense killing intent. Mu Yang comes back to her senses and gently rubs her son's head. She says with a smile that isn't a smile, "What's going on this year? Every Tom, Dick, And Harry wants me to be a side fae. Why don't you take a piss and look at yourself? Xiao Bao nodded heavily and clenched his fists tightly. A bunch of stupid mortals, they're not even fit to carry mother's shoes. If it wasn't for Auntie Chen's presence, his terrifying aura would have been unleashed. Chapter 113. Moreover, his natural disposition is dissolute, and he likes to collect all kinds of beautiful women the most. I heard that there are already no less than 100 concubines in Jin Wangfu, and many of them were forcibly seized by him. Unfortunately, he relies on the protection of the Emperor of Huang Yaro, so no one dares to provoke him. Even in Huang Yaro, this Jin Wangye is so arrogant and despotic. What more in their inferior Kaiyang country? Muyin is merely a weak woman, and she even has a young child with her. How could she contend against such a force? Miss Jun, I've already instructed Feng to delay them first. You should quickly escape from the back door. In any case, you can't be defiled by this kind of beast. Saying that, she pushes Muyin and Xiao Bao towards the back door with all her might. But even though she's already exerting all her strength, Muyin and Xiao Bao don't budge an inch. Muyin sighs softly, and straightens Aunt Chen's tilted body. She softly says, "If we leave, what will happen to you and Chen Qingfeng? What about this pharmacy? Aunt, have you thought about it?" There's no time to think too much. Aunt Chen grits her teeth. "You are our Chen family's savior. In any case, Feng and I can't watch you enter the fire pit." Muyin hooks her lips into a smile, charming by nature, but also radiating a cold light. "We still don't know who the one who has truly entered the fire pit is. Aunt, just have a good sleep here. When you wake up, everything will be as it was before." As soon as her voice falls, Aunt Chen's body sways, and she faints. Muyin puts her on the rattan chair that she had been lying on, and leads Xiao Bao out. As soon as they enter the shop in the front yard, they see that the originally empty shop is now filled with boxes. There are also several people dressed in festive clothes, holding swona, gongs, and drums as they stand outside. They were the ones who made the ruckus just now. Apart from the anxious and tongue-tied Chen Qingfeng, there's also an old man standing in the shop. This old man looks to be in his 50s or 60s, with grizzled hair and decent clothes. There's a lofty and arrogant air on his face, especially when he sweeps his eyes over Chen Qingfeng and the shabby goods in the shop. His face is full of contempt. Just as Muyin appears, Chen Qingfeng immediately exclaims, "Miss Jun, why are you here? Shouldn't you have already?" Mu Yang lightly patted his shoulder, signaling him to calm down, then looked at the old man. The old man squinted at her for a moment, and a hint of surprise flashed across his eyes. She inwardly says that even in Jin Wangfu, where beauties are as common as clouds, she has never seen such an outstanding and good appearance. No wonder His Highness couldn't forget about this fox after he came back. He even told her to use the etiquette of a side fae to welcome her in. So what if she was beautiful? She's just a lowly woman from a low-ranked country. How could she be worthy of the position of side fae in Jin Wangfu? Thinking of this, the amazement in the old man's eyes turns into contempt. "You are Miss Jun Muyin. I am steward son of Jin Wangfu in Huangyaro country." After saying that, he paused for a moment. He waits for Muyin to reveal an expression of amazement, envy, and yearning. After all, how many people from low-class countries yearned to become citizens of high-class countries through their own talent and hard work? But who would have thought that there wouldn't be the slightest change in expression on the young girl's bright and moving face? Even those beautiful eyes seemed to not put him in their eyes at all. Oh, and then? The clear and sweet-sounding voice is filled with indifference. Chapter 114. A trace of anger flashed across Steward Sun's face, but he endured it in the end. He slightly raises his chin, and with a haughty expression, he says, "Today, I represent our Jin Wangye to welcome Miss as a bride. The bridal sedan, the betrothal gifts, and the matchmaker, they're all outside. As long as the young lady gets on the bridal sedan, henceforth, she'll be a side consort of Jin Wangfu, and also a citizen of Huangyao. Miss, please." After saying that, he turns to the side, waiting for Muyin to excitedly run to the sedan chair. Before coming here, he had already investigated Jun Muyin's identity. She's an orphan girl with no background at all. When she first came to Xi'an, she only bought a small pharmacy. As for her cultivation, Wang Ye said that this woman was hiding her strength, but Steward's son, a high-level Earth-stage warrior, could not see any surge of Xian Qi in this woman. This only proved that this woman did not have any cultivation at all, not even any profound Qi fluctuations. For such a powerless orphan girl to be able to gain the favor of His Highness, they should really burn incense and celebrate. However, Steward's son stood sideways for a long time, but the shop was silent. There was not the slightest movement. He raised his head in shock and saw the young girl and the handsome boy not far away looking at him as if they were looking at an idiot. That's right, the look in her eyes was as if she was treating him as an idiot. The anger in Steward's son's heart finally surges up. Miss Jun, don't refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit. Do you know that our Jin Wang Ye? Before Steward's son could finish speaking, he's interrupted by a sharp and urgent voice. Oh, I say, this girl, don't tell me that you don't even know the illustrious and famous Jin Wang Ye in Huangyaro. She saw a fat figure rush in from the door like a gust of wind, and suddenly rushed in front of Mu Yang. She starts to shout with her spittle flying everywhere. I'm telling you, I, matchmaker Huang, have been a matchmaker for so many times, but I've never seen a man with conditions as good as Jin Wang Ye's. Not to mention that he was handsome and elegant, his cultivation base was unparalleled in this small red flame country. Not to mention, Jin Wang Ye is the younger blood brother of the current emperor of Huangyao. With great power in his hands, he really wouldn't be able to find a good husband even with a lantern. Ah? So what if she was a side concubine? As long as Wang Ye dotes on you and gives birth to a son or daughter in the future, won't you be able to enjoy the good fortune of the rest of your life? Mu Yan expressionlessly takes a step back with Xiao Bao, avoiding the flying spit. He said coldly, Yang Haotian, throw him out. As soon as she said that, a tall figure appeared out of nowhere and grabbed matchmaker Huang's collar. You, what are you doing? I, matchmaker Huang, am famous in the surrounding area. Even the marriage of the city lord was arranged by me. If you dare touch me. Out. Yang Haotian swung his arm and threw her out. Matchmaker Huang was sent flying dozens of meters away. She fell to the ground and did not get up again. Seeing the tower-like brawny man standing guard by Mu Yang's side without saying a word, Steward's son's expression becomes somewhat grave. He could tell at a glance that this man with a face full of scars was not old, but he was already at the beginning of the Earth stage. He was only 2 small realms away from him. Steward's son suspiciously looked at Yang Haotian, then looked at Mu Yang. Seeing Yang Haotian's appearance of a servant guarding his master, he is secretly shocked. Chapter 115. Steward's son's eyes turn, and he slightly cups his hands in greeting. Miss Jun, that matchmaker Huang has offended you just now. I ask Miss to not take offense. Today, I have come to sincerely represent Wang Ye to welcome Miss as a side consort of Jin Wangfu. A few days ago, our Wang Ye had a chance encounter with Miss on the street. Since then, our Wang Ye has fallen in love with Miss at first sight. He specifically had his subordinates prepare generous gifts to ask for Miss' hand in marriage. Wang Ye's heart towards Miss, that is truly the proof of the sun and the moon. As he speaks, Steward's son waves his hand. The guards standing outside the door immediately come in carrying boxes of betrothal gifts. The boxes are opened, revealing silk, cloth, gold, and jewelry stuffed to the brim inside. The common people of Xi'an, who have been attracted by the commotion, all suck in a mouthful of cold air when they see the treasures in the cages. It's just marrying a side consort. This Jin Wang Ye's generosity is too great. These betrothal gifts are worth at least tens of millions of gold coins, right? That's the most favored Wang Ye of the high-class Huangyaro country. Isn't this kind of generosity a matter of course? If I may say it, this girl is really lucky to actually be fancied by such a great character like Jin Wang Ye. The chattering sounds of discussion come in from outside, making Steward's son's complexion improve a lot. That old face once again raises a trace of arrogance and contentment. He raises his hand in the direction of the betrothal gifts, and asks, Wang Ye has never failed to get the woman he wants. Is it to accept the betrothal gifts, and henceforth become a superior person? Or is it to be stubborn, and be wanted by our Jin Wangfu? Miss Jun is so intelligent, surely you should know what to choose. When he says this, Steward's son is full of confidence. He feels that Muyan will certainly agree. Muyan's mouth raises into a lazy smile, and she slowly strolls to the front of the betrothal gifts. Her fingers grab the jewels on it, and she gently caresses them. Then, she slowly says, "The quality is really good. Since you've delivered it to my door, then I'll reluctantly accept it. So, Miss Jun is willing to become our Wangye's side consort?" Steward's son's face shows a knowing smile. "Then please get on the sedan as soon as possible." Miss Mu Yang doesn't pay attention to him. Instead, she says to Yang Haotian, "Move all these things to my wing room in the backyard." Yang Haotian was silent. He immediately stepped forward and carried a large box to the backyard. After going back and forth a few times, all the boxes in the pharmacy were empty. Steward's son and the guards of Jin Wangfu are somewhat unable to come back to their senses. For a moment, no one stops them. Steward's son didn't react until all the betrothal gifts had been moved out. His expression turned ugly and disdainful. Who would have thought that this Miss Jun, who appeared to be refined, with a peerless elegance, would actually be so petty, unable to be shown in public? "Miss Jun, you should be able to board the sedan chair now, right?" Muyan smiles sweetly, incomparably bright and beautiful. "Who said that I'm willing to become the bullshit Jin Wang's side consort?" Housekeeper Sun stared blankly for a moment before his expression darkened. "Miss Jun, what do you mean by that? You've already accepted the betrothal gifts. Don't tell me you want to go back on your word now." Mu Yang says unhurriedly, "What I just received was compensation for disturbing my shop's business. Who said it was a betrothal gift? Now, we're even. Everyone, please go back." Steward's son's complexion turns green and white, his eyes almost spurting fire. Such great courage, even daring to swindle the people of our Jin Wangfu. "Come, tie this slut up for me and stuff her into the sedan chair. Today, you have to marry, even if you don't want to." An insignificant lowly commoner really thinks that she can overturn the heavens. "You dare." Just as Steward's son's voice fell, two voices ring out at the same time. One comes from Mu Yang's side, tender and crisp, but as cold as frost. Chapter 116. In a split second, the noisy surroundings of the shop become silent. Everyone's eyes are cast in the direction of the door. They see a tall and handsome man dressed in a black, narrow-sleeved official robe. Especially that face, long eyebrows reaching his temples, blue eyes like an abyss, exquisite facial features, as if they were meticulously sculpted from heaven and earth. As he slowly walks into the shop, everyone, whether men or women, can't help but hold their breaths. Amazement and awe, obsession and fear, desire and panic, completely different contradictory emotions churn at the bottom of everyone's hearts. This man, he has that kind of magical power. He is the ruler of the world, a supreme existence that stands high above all mortals. Everyone who sees him wishes they could kneel and crawl on the ground. But the moment Mu Yang sees this person, she can't help but curse in her heart. This lunatic, how come he's here again? That's right, the person who has come is someone that Mu Yang has only met twice. Di Mingju, who has already eaten her tofu twice. Since Mu Yang's rebirth, she has always been carefree, free, and easy. No one has ever been able to force her to do something she doesn't like. But in the hands of this man, she has already stumbled twice. She has actually been taken advantage of by this pervert twice. She originally thought that this man wouldn't come back after he left last time. She didn't expect that he would appear in front of her again. Moreover, Mu Yang can see that this time, his figure is illusory, and there's no reflection. This time, the pressure on Di Mingju's body seems to have weakened a lot, but his figure is solid. Moreover, the dangerous aura emitted from his body only increases. The closer he gets, the more Mu Yang's breathing becomes uncontrollably disorderly. The person who has come is naturally Di Mingju, who has gone one round around Xia En, but still hasn't managed to buy a satisfactory betrothal gift. After he roars out those words, there's only Mu Yang left in his eyes. Everyone else around him is just like ants, he doesn't put them in his eyes at all. Seeing the girl's bright and beautiful face once again, Mingju knows how much he misses this woman. He has cultivated for thousands of years, and his status is supreme. He gets wind if he wants wind, rain if he wants rain, but this is the first time he knows the taste of deep sorrow. Just one day without seeing her, and he can't sit still. This time, in order to complete the transmission array, he won't be able to see this little woman for 10 days. In the beginning, Elder Chang and the others advised him to think thrice before acting, and not rashly come to the Yenwu continent. But after being ruthlessly tortured by Mingju's insatiable desire, these people really wish that they could immediately pack up their Junshong and send him down. During this period, they still had to pray that the Lady of Destiny would do a good deed and submit to their lord. Otherwise, all of them would definitely be tortured by their lord until they wished they were dead. Mingju's step by step towards Mu Yang. There is a fire. But before he can get close to Mu Yang, Steward's son has already recovered. He ignores the instinctive fear he has towards this man, and immediately scowls and scowls. He angrily shouts, "Audacious unruly commoner, you actually dare to obstruct Jin Wangfu's business, I think you're tired of living." Ming, he, Jun. Chapter 117. Han Yi, who has just entered the shop, staggers and almost falls to the ground. He looks at that steward's son, not as if he's looking at an idiot, but as if he's looking at a pile of shit. Sure enough, Mingju stops walking towards Mu Yang and coldly looks at Steward Sunday. When Steward's son is looked at by those eyes, he doesn't know why but he unexpectedly shudders, his voice stuttering, I'm warning you, I'm a person of Huang Yarrow country's Jin Wangfu. If you offend our Jin Wangfu, you, before he could finish his words, Steward's son's body suddenly flies forward involuntarily. The next moment, his throat is already firmly gripped. Say it again, who wants to marry Mu Yang? Under the 5 fingers, his throat makes a cracking sound. Steward's son's face swells purple and red, tears and snot flowing out. Jin Wangye. It's our Huang Yarrow country's Jin Wangye. Huang Yarrow country's emperor's younger brother. With a snapping sound, Steward's son's neck is broken, and he weakly falls to the ground. That's a high earth stage practitioner, eh? Just like this, without the slightest ability to resist, his neck is broken. The guards of Jin Wangfu are stunned. Immediately after, some people want to escape, while others roar and attack Mingju. Han Yi sneers, his figure flashes and turns into an afterimage, quickly shuttling back and forth between the guards of Jin Wangfu. In just a few short breaths, all the guards have fallen to the ground. The bones in their bodies are broken inch by inch, their eyes are wide open, but they've already stopped breathing. There's a deathly silence in the audience. There's a look of horror on everyone's face. Even Mu Yang slightly tightens her brows, her expression dignified. The hands hanging by her side are suddenly clenched. Mu Yang looks down and sees that Xiao Bao is staring fixedly at Mingju. His eyes are full of alertness and vigilance, as well as a trace of imperceptible frustration. As soon as Mingju appeared, Xiao Bao recognized that this man is the one who fought with him over the white jade hairpin in the treasure pavilion. He also recognized that this man is the scoundrel who wanted to bully Nyang Qin in Jin Hong Men. From the beginning, Xiao Bao knew that this person is stronger than him. But he didn't expect that he's that much stronger. Even the subordinates by his side were no match for him. He's so weak, how can he protect his mother? For the first time, a desolate and unwilling expression appeared on his cold and handsome face. His hands, which were hanging by his side, were tightly clenched into fists. After tidying up the unsightly things, Mingju goes in front of Muyan by himself. Suppressing his anger that is about to erupt, he growls, "Ben Jun has only left for a few days, how can you accept other people's betrothal gifts?" Although his voice was very loud, there was a trace of indistinct grievance in his tone. Mu Yang was speechless. Hey. Why do you make it sound like I'm a heartless man? If I remember correctly, I have nothing to do with you, right? Not waiting for Muyan to react, Mingju has already grabbed her jade-like wrist and put a white jade bracelet on it. Although his cultivation was suppressed, he could still use a portion of his powerful divine sense. With a sweep of her divine sense, She knows just how expensive and complicated the Jin Wangfu's betrothal gifts that Muyan has moved to the backyard are. However, he only had a white jade bracelet that was so shabby that he could not even take it out. Di Mingju's ears redden, his heart is about to vomit to death. Chapter 118. Muyan stares blankly for a moment, unable to react in time. She actually lets Di Mingju put the white jade bracelet on her hand. She frowned and said in a distant tone, "I don't deserve a reward without doing anything. I don't know you at all, so there's no need for a gift." After saying that, she was about to remove the white jade bracelet from her wrist. Di Mingju simply can't believe his ears. Mu Yang accepted that wild man's betrothal gift, but refused to accept his gift. His face was so gloomy that it could drip water, and his voice unknowingly carried a trace of killing intent. "You're not allowed to take it down. This lord wants you to wear it, so wear it." Muyan still hasn't reacted when a small hand, mixed with a monstrous internal force, ruthlessly slaps towards Di Mingju. "Don't bully my mother." The small figure strides forward, blocking Muyan's path, and fiercely glares at Di Mingju. Di Mingju sees the familiar little face in front of him, but stares blankly. "It's you." It was actually the little bean who fought with him over the white jade phoenix tail hairpin in the treasure pavilion. Wait, what did the little bean just call Mu Yang? Xiao Bao turns around and hugs Mu Yang's thigh. With a blank face, he says, "Nyang Qin, he's a bad person. Don't be fooled by him. Me. Don't think that he can't see that this shameless scoundrel wants to molest and take away his mother. Mother belongs to Xiao Bao alone. He won't let this scoundrel snatch her away." Mu Yang stooped down and picked up her son. She narrowed her eyes and asked, "Baby, did he bully you?" Xiao Bao nodded expressionlessly. Muyan's expression immediately becomes somewhat dangerous, coldly looking at Di Mingju. Anyone who dared to bully her precious son deserved to die 1,000 times over. Di Mingju unwaveringly glares at Mu Yang and Xiao Bao. The expression on those two similar faces is almost distorted. "Who are you calling Nyang Qin?" Han Yi has never seen such a frightening expression on his master's face, and he can't help but shiver. Then he hurriedly laughed and said, "Miss Jun, this is your adopted child, right?" "That's right, she must have been adopted. Miss Jun is really kind." Before he could finish, he was interrupted by Mu Yang with a sneer. "I'm so sorry. My darling was born after 10 months of pregnancy. He is the most important treasure in my world." Xiao Bao's big eyes immediately brighten up like stars. He wraps his arms around Mu Yang's neck, and the corners of his mouth rise in a small arc. The panic, desolation, and uneasiness that filled his heart just now disappeared without a trace at this moment. In the whole world, he was the one that his mother loved the most. She wouldn't be taken away from him. Thinking up to here, he even rubs Muyan's face, then looks provocatively at Di Mingju and Han Yi. Han Yi, on the other hand, has an alarmed look on his face, and his body begins to tremble. "No, you're not joking, right? Miss Jun, don't play with me. You're so young, how could you be a biological child?" Muyan's smile is leisurely and playful, but before she can reply, she hears Di Mingju's cold voice. "Who is that man?" That voice seemed to come out from between his lips and teeth, word by word. Han Yi takes a look at Jun Shong's complexion, and only feels that this time, it's really over. The sky of the 3 realms is about to collapse. When he was in the Shoshian continent, he saw with his own eyes how much Jun Shong cares about and crazily misses Miss June. Every moment, he longs to quickly come to the Yenwu continent and reunite with Miss June. Chapter 119. Men. Mu Yang stares blankly, then the smile at the corner of her mouth becomes even more enchanting and deep. "Oh, you mean the biological father of my precious son? Why are you looking for him?" The anger that Di Mingju has been suppressing all this time has finally been thoroughly stimulated by the words "my precious son's biological father." He suddenly takes a step forward and approaches Mu Yang. "Tell me, where is that man? I'm going to kill him right now." Muyan. Jun Muyan, this woman is mine, she belongs to me alone. But why couldn't he come to the Yenwu continent earlier? Why didn't I meet her earlier? In Di Mingju's heart, it's as if there's a pot of boiling oil, and as if there's ice condensing. His eyes redden a little, and he reaches out to caress Muyan's face. Whoosh! A swift and fierce palm wind swept over. Yang Haotian is afraid that he will harm Muyan, so he makes his move without hesitation. However, before his palm, which was condensed with 100% of his power, could reach within a meter of the man, his entire body was sent flying. At this very moment, the pressure and murderous aura emanating from Di Mingju's body can simply make anyone in this world tremble in fear. Even Mu Yang, being stared at by that pair of eyes, is unable to suppress the trembling of her body. But just when everyone thinks that Di Mingju is about to explode, Di Mingju suddenly turns around with red eyes. In the blink of an eye, he was already hundreds of feet away from the medicine shop. But no matter how one looked at that back view, it was bleak and lonely. My lord. Han Yi stares blankly. He looks in the direction that Di Mingju has gone, then he looks at Mu Yang and Xiao Bao. Gritting his teeth, he promptly follows. Mu Yang, on the other hand, was a little dumbfounded. She and Xiao Bao looked at each other, unable to react for a moment. Xiao Bao glanced at the door and suddenly hugged Mu Yang. There was a trace of confusion on his cold and handsome little face. When Di Mingju approached just now, he really thought that the man wanted to hurt Nyangqin. However, even though the man's aura was so terrifying, he didn't even touch her mother. Moreover, when he turned around, Xiao Bao saw that the man's eyes were red. His expression was not one of terror, but of sadness and pain. He looked a little pitiful. Xiao Bao wrinkled his little nose and felt that he was acting too strangely. That shameless man covets her mother, why would she feel pity for him? Nyangqin tilde Xiao Bao hugs Mu Yang's neck and asks in a low voice, Nyangqin, will that person appear again? Mu Yang stares blankly for a moment before replying, probably not. That man called Di Mingju, at first glance, one can tell that he's an aloof and remote person, someone who can't be violated, someone who can't be disobeyed. He had his pride and self-respect, knowing that he was a married woman with a child. He probably wouldn't appear in front of her again, right? From now on, we will never meet again. Outside Cheyenne City. Jun Shong, what are your plans? Han Yi looks at the man's stern back in front of him, and cautiously asks, should we think of a way to return to the Shoshian continent ahead of time? There was silence. Just when Han Yi thinks that Di Mingju won't answer, he hears the man's deep and hoarse voice. Find out who that man is for Benjun. Di Mingju's tone is very flat and calm, but when Han Yi hears it, he quivers all over. Chapter 120. Han Yi swallows, finding the right words with difficulty. Jun Shong, killing people and seizing their treasures. No, killing people and seizing their wives, that's not too good, right? He would be struck by lightning. Why don't we consider it again? Di Mingju coldly looks at Han Yi. After a long while, he slowly says, Ben Jun won't do that. It wasn't that he couldn't do it, it wasn't that he didn't dare to do it, but, if he did that, would Mu Yang be sad and even hate him? Jun Shong, since you don't intend to kill and steal your wife, what can you do even if you find that person? Yes. What could they do even if they found that person? What could he do by staying here? Could it be that he had to watch Muyan and another man kissing each other? However, the thought of forever losing the only woman who could move his heart, the thought of never being able to see Muyan again. Di Mingju feels as if someone has dug out a piece of his heart. It's empty, as if the rest of his life will no longer have any joy. The appearance of the man in front of him is still unparalleled under the heavens, and his expression is still cold and indifferent. But for the first time, Han Yi feels bitter and sad. She felt sad for her Jun Shong. It was the first time his heart had been moved, the first time he had fallen in love with a woman, but she already belonged to someone else. Miss Muyan, isn't she supposed to be Jun Shong's destined daughter? How could I possibly have no fate with Jun Shong? Wait a minute, the daughter of destiny, Jun Shong. Han Yi suddenly bellows. Even Di Mingju jumps in fright, looking over with a calm face. This time, Han Yi isn't afraid of Di Mingju's cold expression at all. Instead, he says in high spirits, Jun Shong, perhaps there's still some misunderstanding in this matter. Misunderstanding? That's right. Have you forgotten, Jun Shong? Miss Jun is your destined woman. The fate between the two of you is preordained by the heavens. Elder Chang's readings have never been wrong, and when it concerns Jun Shong's fate, it is even more impossible for it to be wrong. So, this is either a misunderstanding, or there's something hidden. Why don't you check it out again? Hearing this, Di Mingju's originally serene eyes suddenly light up with a blazing flame. The curtain fell on the farce, and the sky darkened. After having her dinner, Mu Yang takes Xiao Bao back to her room. However, what was different from the past was that Xiao Bao, who usually clung to her and wanted to sleep with her at night, took the initiative to enter the space this time. Mu Yang asks him why. With a straight face, he said in an icy childish voice, Xiao Bao has grown up, he can't just stick to Nyang Qin. Xiao Bao has to become stronger to be able to protect Mother. After a pause, he continued, Mother, this time, I will come out after I break through to heaven rank. He no longer wanted to feel weak and helpless. Not only could he not protect his mother, but he also needed her to protect him. There's a trace of heartache in Mu Yan's eyes. Looking at the 4-year-old boy in front of her, who was so obedient and sensible, made her feel both proud and sad. However, she didn't show it. Instead, she smiled and lowered her head to kiss her son's forehead. Then, she said softly, Okay, Mother believes that Xiao Bao will succeed. Because of Mu Yang's words, the handsome and cold little face instantly ripples into a happy smile. For the first time, Xiao Bao took the initiative to reach out and hold Mu Yang's face, kissing her on the cheek. Then, he enters the space with a blushing face. Chapter 121. Because of Mu Yan's words, the handsome and cold little face instantly ripples into a happy smile. For the first time, Xiao Bao reaches out to hold Mu Yan's face and kisses her. Then he enters the space with a blushing face. This time, Mu Yan directly seals the space so that Xiao Bao can't see or hear anything happening outside. This way, nothing will disturb Xiao Bao's seclusion. She herself also enters the space, and plays with the Tian Mo Qin for an entire hour. The Shun musician's skill, mist dispersing, when played during cultivation, can dispel inner demons and make cultivation twice the result with half the effort. It's just that this skill is a rare Shun musician skill. Mu Yan has studied it for a long time, but she only has a rough understanding of it. She can only play it for half an hour a day at most. But when she plays, mist dispersing, she can clearly see that the internal force around Xiao Bao has become calm and docile, and Xiao Bao's expression also becomes relaxed and serene. Even that rabbit, who is usually lazy and too lazy to even open its eyes, actually comes over when it hears her playing, mist dispersing. Its slightly narrowed Mung Bin eyes reveal a satisfied expression. After playing for an hour, Mu Yan is already panting, sweating profusely. But seeing Xiao Bao's steadily improving cultivation, her face shows a satisfied smile. She flashes out of the space and is about to rest when she suddenly sees the figure sitting on her bed. Even with Mu Yan's calmness, she is startled at this time. After a long while, she says in disbelief, "Why are you here?" She sees the man sitting on the bed slowly getting up and walking towards her. The candlelight shines on that inhumanly handsome face. Every inch of his facial features is exquisite to perfection, as if chiseled by a hatchet or a knife. That pair of ice-blue eyes are like the sky and the sea. When they stare deeply at a person, it seems as if even the soul will be swallowed up by them. Mu Yan's breathing becomes slightly disordered as she is stared at by those blazing eyes, and she takes a step back. Di Mingju's figure flashes, and he suddenly approaches her. Their noses are almost touching, and they can smell each other's breaths. Jun Mu Yan, I, Di Mingju, want to take you as my wife. Mu Yan stares blankly. This isn't the first time the man in front of her has said that he wants to marry her. However, the words he said this time were like a vow, causing her heart to tremble involuntarily. She's distracted for a moment, but Di Mingju has already leaned forward and slowly touched her lips. As soon as he touched, he left, the kiss of a vow. However, Mu Yang suddenly came back to her senses. She took a step back and said in disbelief, "Did you forget that I'm already married and have a son? Are you trying to seduce a married woman by doing this?" This time, Di Mingju isn't enraged in the slightest. Instead, he says with indifference and self-restraint, I found the registration you made when you entered Xi'an. Registration? Mu Yang has a sudden realization. In some prosperous cities of Kaiyang, Jingcheng, and Huangyaro, visitors had to be interrogated and registered when they entered. Mu Yang still remembers that at that time, she filled in her own name and also filled in Xiaobao's name. Her husband's column was empty. In the column for Xiaobao's father, she directly wrote dead. That little guy doesn't have a father, and you're not married either, Di Mingju says with certainty. Mu Yang frowns at him. So what? Xiaobao is indeed my biological son. Chapter 122. I don't mind. Di Mingju's face is cold, clenching his teeth as he enunciates each word. The past is the past, Ben Jun doesn't care. As for what he thinks in his heart, whether or not he really doesn't care, only Di Mingju himself knows. Mu Yan's teeth itch. Heh, you don't care, but I do. I will treat that little guy like my own son. Di Mingju ignores her words and continues, as long as you marry Ben Jun, Xiao Bao will be the supreme crown prince of the three realms. No one will dare to bully him again. This sentence, he said it more sincerely than that Ben Jun doesn't care. He didn't know why, but even though he clearly knew that Xiao Bao was the son of Mu Yang's ex-husband, he couldn't bring himself to hate that little fellow, and even had an indescribable feeling of closeness. I will protect my own son. There's no need for you to. Before Mu Yang could finish her words of refusal, her slender waist is suddenly embraced, and her red lips are sealed. After a long time, Di Mingju finally releases her. Insufferably arrogant, he says, if you don't agree, then Ben Jun will pursue you until you agree. If you have misgivings, Ben Jun will eliminate them one by one. If you still have someone else in your heart, Ben Jun will wait until you only have me in your heart. But Jun Muyan, you are destined to be my, Di Mingju's, wife. Saying that, without waiting for Muyan to react, the man's figure disappears from the room. Muyan is left standing blankly on the spot, her face flushed red, unable to come back to her senses. After a long time, she gritted her teeth and closed the open window. Thinking of the man's domineering declaration, the corner of her mouth curved seductively. In both her past life and this life, Di Mingju is the first man who is so persistent in pursuing her. He doesn't even care that she had a child. Hehe, she was a little curious now. How was this insufferably arrogant man going to woo her? How was he going to move her heart? Early the next morning, as soon as Chen Qingfeng opened the door, he saw two figures rushing in like lightning. Give me a bottle of special mysterious energy filter. They were naturally Tian Yongjin and Wang Jiaqin. They arrived at the shop almost at the same time and shouted at the same time. Chen Qingfeng was stunned by the roar and did not react at all. The two of them were so anxious that their faces turned red. It's still Wang Jiaqin who's quick to react, quickly pulling out a bag of gold coins and slapping it on the table. Today, this young master paid first, still not giving me the special mysterious energy filter. Chen Qingfeng absent-mindedly takes the special mysterious energy filter and hands it to Wang Jiaqin. Wang Jiaqin immediately revealed a complacent smile and shook it at Tian Yongjin. Young Master Tian, thank you for letting me win today. With that, he swaggered away. Tian Yongjin was so angry that he gritted his teeth and had nowhere to vent his anger. He could only roar at Chen Qingfeng, Brat, are you tired of living? To actually sell this young master's draft to other people. Do you believe that I will smash your shop right now? Chen Qingfeng felt wronged. He didn't dare to offend Tian Yongjin, but he also didn't dare to offend Wang Jiaqin, the young master of Hongsheng drugstore. Tian Dashao, please calm your anger. In fact, the owner has also introduced a new kind of draft today. I think it would be better for you to buy this new draft. I guarantee that the effect of this new draft will absolutely be 100 times stronger than the mysterious energy filter. Tian Yongjin asked suspiciously, what draft is so powerful? Why don't you tell me? Filter of barrier breaking. Chapter 123. Chen Qingfeng swallows his saliva, and after a long while, he says with difficulty, Tiandaxiao, this little one had just said that the effect of the filter of barrier breaking is 100 times stronger than the special mysterious energy filter, so the price is naturally 100 times higher. Therefore, 40,000 gold coins is not enough. 40,000 gold coins, 100 times? Tian Yongjin stares blankly for a moment, then roars in disbelief, 4 million gold coins? You want this young master for 4 million gold coins for a bottle of draft that I've never even heard of? Do you take this young master for a fool? Chen Qingfeng shrinks back in fright, but he insists, I'm sorry, Tiandaxiao, this is the price set by the owner, this little one can't do anything about it. If you really only want the mysterious energy filter, why don't you come back earlier tomorrow? In the end, Tian Yongjin doesn't buy the filter of barrier breaking. In fact, 4 million gold coins is too expensive. Even Tiandaxiao, who squanders money like dirt, can't casually take it out. And what the hell is a filter of barrier breaking? He's never heard of it. However, in the next few days, Tiandaxiao's intestines simply turn green because of today's decision. Ever since Tian Yongjin and Wang Jiaqin left, Junji Drugstore has once again returned to its deserted state. For a whole day, there's not even a single customer. Just when Chen Qingfeng thinks that he won't be able to do any business today, a somewhat aged old man with a stubble of beard, dressed in grey clothes. The old man looks a little down and out, but Chen Qingfeng doesn't neglect him in the slightest. He immediately warmly greets him. Excuse me, sir, would you like to buy herbs or drafts? But, speaking up to here, Chen Qingfeng is somewhat embarrassed. Our shop is small, so the only draft we can sell is the mysterious energy filter. Hearing his words, the old man's face shows a disappointed expression, and he prepares to turn around and leave. Chen Qingfeng seems to have remembered something, and hesitantly adds, our shop also has a special draft called the filter of barrier breaking. It's personally refined by our owner, but the price is also a bit. Before Chen Qingfeng could say the last expensive word, the old man suddenly widens his turbid eyes, his voice trembling as he calls out, You, what did you just say that draft is called? Filter of barrier breaking. The old man's expression became more and more agitated. He stared at Chen Qingfeng, and his withered hands grabbed Chen Qingfeng's clothes. Filter of barrier breaking. Quickly give me the filter of barrier breaking. Do you know how long I've been looking for this draft? Chen Qingfeng was startled by the old man's crazy look. But this customer, the price of the filter of barrier breaking made by our boss is very expensive. It costs 4 million gold coins, and it is only effective for ancient warriors of Earth level and below. Are you sure you want it? Ha ha ha, 4 million. How is 4 million expensive? The old man threw his head back and laughed. As long as I can break through this bottleneck, not to mention 4 million, even 4 million is more than worth it. As he spoke, the old man quickly took out a box. When the box was opened, there were dozens of pearls and a stack of banknotes. Chen Qingfeng gave it a rough look. It was worth more than 4 million gold coins. He felt like he was dreaming. In the blink of an eye, their medicine store had earned another 4 million. The main point was that this 4 million was a net profit. As soon as Chen Qingfeng handed over the filter of barrier breaking, the old man immediately grabbed it and drank it in one gulp. Chapter 124. Chen Qingfeng looks around at the door. Seeing that he's only cultivating, he doesn't pay attention to him. Instead, he happily counts his belongings, thinking that since he has capital, he naturally has to buy some good drafts. He can't just rely on Miss Jun's drafts to support the shop's operations, right? As he's absorbed in his calculations, there's a sudden clamor outside. Chen Qingfeng looks up, only to find that the outside is already crowded with people. Everyone was pointing at the corner of the door, their expressions shocked and excited. What's going on? Chen Qingfeng goes to the door to take a look, but is startled. He sees that the place where the old man was sitting cross-legged a moment ago is now completely surrounded by smoke. He can only vaguely make out the old man's face in the lingering fog. As soon as Chen Qingfeng approaches, he can feel the majestic and powerful internal force surging and boiling. That internal force and pressure makes his face pale, and he unconsciously takes a step back. Breakthrough, He's really going to break through. Is he going to break through from the middle of Earth stage to the high Earth stage? No, that's not right. He's already broken through to the high Earth stage, but the pressure of that internal force is still rising. Are you kidding me? Is he going to break through from the middle of Earth stage to heaven stage? How is that possible? The crowd's whispers keep ringing, with infinite surprise and envy. But there are also people who are very puzzled. Hey, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that the Ghost City's ghost envoy, Old Dao? He's been stuck in the middle of Earth stage for more than 30 years. How could he suddenly break through? I heard that Old Dao has been unable to advance his cultivation and is already about to be expelled from the Ghost City. I didn't expect him to have such a strong foundation. It's fine if he doesn't break through, but once he breaks through, he amazes the world with a single brilliant feat. As everyone is talking, there's a sudden loud bang, coming from the direction where Old Dao is sitting cross-legged. The wall of Junji drugstore that Old Dao is leaning against has a big hole blown through. The grey clothes on his body have all been blown to pieces. The crowd of onlookers around him are pushed back several steps by that frightening blast. Old Dao slowly gets up from the ground, only a pair of ragged pants that can't even cover his important parts. But after a moment of silence, he suddenly looks up and laughs. Ha 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 ha. I broke through. I finally broke through. The heavens didn't let me die. I actually found the filter of barrier breaking. Ha ha ha. The heavens haven't forsaken me yet. As it turns out, this old man is a ghost envoy of the Ghost City. He had been stuck in the middle rank of the Earth realm for a whole 32 years. If he still couldn't break through to the high rank of Earth stage, he would never have any hope of peeping into heaven stage again in this lifetime. But the more anxious he was, the more despair he felt. Furthermore, as they grew older, talented ghost servants were promoted one by one. His position was also under serious threat. If he can't break through forever, it's very likely that he will be expelled from the Ghost City. Therefore, after hearing that Yu Yang took the filter of barrier breaking and advanced to the middle rank of Earth stage, he began to frantically search for her in Xi'an. And now, he finally found the filter of barrier breaking. The effect of the filter of barrier breaking was even more terrifying than he had imagined. Not only did it allow him to break through his bottleneck, it also cleared away the impurities in his qi and activated all the profound energy in his body. Chapter 125. How could Old Dao not be ecstatic? But the onlookers only heard one important point. What? Old Dao, you took the filter of barrier breaking to break through the bottleneck? Isn't that the legendary filter of barrier breaking that's rumored to be more valuable than the elixir refined by Master Jianfeng? Quick, tell us where to buy the filter of barrier breaking. Oh my god. The filter of barrier breaking can actually help people break through bottlenecks, even if it costs 10 million gold coins. I must buy it. Hurry up and tell me where to buy it from. He learned from Old Dao that the filter of barrier breaking was bought from this small medicine shop next to him. Moreover, the purchase price was as cheap as 4 million gold coins, which was as cheap as cabbages. Everyone's eyes turned green. One by one, they glared at Chen Qingfeng, who was standing at the door. That bottle of filter of barrier breaking that had just been auctioned off in the Ghost City was sold for 12 million gold coins a. But Old Dao actually bought it at this Junji drugstore for 4 million gold coins. It was a difference of 3 times the price. Ah, I'm so envious, so jealous, so hateful. Chen Qingfeng took a step back with a pale face. He swallowed his saliva and said, "Calm down, you guys calm down. Today's filter of barrier breaking was sold out. If you want to buy the filter of barrier breaking, please come early tomorrow." As soon as he finished speaking, he didn't dare to delay any longer. He slammed the door shut and ran away as fast as he could. Boo-hoo-hoo, Miss Jun, these people who want to buy special grade drafts are so scary. If you don't take out a few more drafts to sell, this little one won't be able to hold on. Unfortunately, Chen Qingfeng's wish is beautiful, but Mu Yang's alchemy still depends on her mood. However, looking at Chen Qingfeng's pitiful appearance, Mu Yang was merciful in the end and lent Yang Haotian to Chen Qingfeng to maintain public order. Sure enough, with Yang Haotian's scarred face and fiendish appearance, the number of people who dared to act rashly immediately decreased by more than half. On this day, Tian Yongjin and Wang Jiaqin rush over to Junji drugstore early in the morning. The two of them were at each other's throats. Today they must be the first to snatch that special grade mysterious energy filter. He had thought that he would see the same deserted scene as before. But just as they turned the corner, the two of them were stunned. That's because in front of that Junji drugstore, there's a dense crowd of people. Everyone craned their necks and hung their heads as they desperately tried to look into the medicine shop. Some people couldn't help but bang on the door and shout, "Open the door! Open the door! We've been waiting all night. Quickly let us buy draft." Tian Yongjin and Wang Jiaqin were dumbfounded. What was going on? Why are there so many people crowded in front of Junji drugstore? Could it be that the matter of the special mysterious energy filter was exposed? Both of them glared at each other angrily. Did you leak the news? Are you stupid? If other people knew about the existence of the special mysterious energy filter, then how could they swallow a bottle of the special mysterious energy filter every day? After asking the question, both of them were stunned. Didn't you tell them? Wang Jiaqin's eyes were sharp, and he saw a familiar face among them. He sucked in a breath of cold air. There was a grey-haired old man in the crowd, but his tiger-like eyes shone brightly. Clearly, his cultivation was extremely high. It was an elder of the famous Li family in Xi'an. Why would an elder of the dignified Li family run over to line up in front of a small drugstore? Even if it's for the special mysterious energy filter, isn't that too exaggerated? Chapter 126. In a split second, the crowd rushed in like a tide. Filter of barrier breaking. Quickly give me the filter of barrier breaking. I'm willing to pay 8 million units. Sell me the filter of barrier breaking. Get out of the way. I've already prepared notes worth 12 million gold coins. Let me in first. Tian Yongjin and Wang Jiaqin were dumbfounded. What was going on? Even if it's just to buy a special grade mysterious energy filter, there's no need to be that crazy, right? Even the doors of Junji drugstore have been squeezed until they're broken. There were even people who stumbled and were stepped on by the crowd. They immediately spat out blood and could not get up. This stance, it's like they're going to tear down Junji drugstore. But just when Tian Yongjin and the rest think that the Junji drugstore will be overturned, the crowd is suddenly thrown out one by one. Then, a sturdy man covered in scars like an iron tower stood at the entrance of the shop. His expression was cold, and his eyes were fierce. When he glanced at everyone, no one dared to act rashly. Tian Yongjin finally couldn't bear it anymore. He grabbed a person and asked, "Are you all here to buy the special mysterious energy filter?" "What's a special mysterious energy filter?" That person is baffled. What's the use of a mysterious energy filter? "We're all here to snatch the filter of barrier breaking. That's a draft that goes against the natural order that can help people break through bottleneck. Moreover, it was only sold for 4 million gold coins. That was 8 million gold coins cheaper than the Ghost City's auction. Whoever doesn't snatch it is a fool." Filter. Filter of barrier breaking? Tian Yongjin's eyes widened, and his voice trembled. Filter of barrier breaking worth 4 million gold coins? You're saying that's a heaven-defying draft that could break through bottlenecks? Yeah. Don't you even know this? That person looks at them like he's looking at idiots. That day, the appearance of a heaven-defying draft in the Ghost City had spread like wildfire. After Miss Ru Yang took the filter of barrier breaking, she broke through on the spot. Ghost City's old Dao, who hadn't been able to break through to the middle of Earth stage for 30 years, yesterday he bought the filter of barrier breaking here for 4 million gold coins. As a result, he broke through on the spot, and now he's already at the peak of Earth stage. There is no one in Xi'an who doesn't know about this matter. As he spoke, Yang Haotian, who was standing at the door like a door god, suddenly stepped aside, revealing the trembling figure of Chen Qingfeng. He clears his throat, takes a look at the crowd outside, and says in a trembling voice, "Everyone, I'm really sorry. Master didn't make the filter of barrier breaking today, so there is no filter of barrier breaking for sale today." "Are you kidding me? I've been lining up since last night." Yes. I must buy the filter of barrier breaking today. My Lee family is willing to pay 15 million gold coins for a bottle of filter of barrier breaking. 1,500. Chen Qingfeng swallows his saliva, promptly suppressing the pain in his heart. He goes on to say, everyone, although this shop didn't offer a filter of barrier breaking today, the owner still refined other special drafts. They are a bottle of mysterious energy filter, a bottle of healing fluid, and a bottle of rapid fluid, each priced at 40,000 gold coins. Before he could finish speaking, he's interrupted by Elder Li. These drafts that you're talking about, were they all refined by that master who refined the filter of barrier breaking? That's right, all the special drafts that this shop sells are all refined by the owner himself. Buy, buy, buy. Someone immediately shouts, as long as it's the special drafts refined by this master, I'll buy them all. Chapter 127. What's a few 100,000 gold coins? Even if it's just an ordinary draft, what this master refines is absolutely the best. Today, my Lee family must grab it. Because there are too few drafts and too many people are fighting over them, they finally use the method of drawing lots. Whoever is lucky enough to draw a red lot will have the priority to buy a special draft. As a result, in less than the time it takes to burn a stick of incense, a bottle of mysterious energy filter worth 40,000 gold coins, a bottle of healing fluid worth 600,000 gold coins, and a bottle of speed fluid worth 300,000 gold coins are all snapped up. In this way, the people who spent money are all beaming with joy, while the people who didn't manage to buy it have a sullen look on their faces. Not far away, Tian Yongjin and Wang Jiaqin blankly watch the departing crowd. Suddenly, they raise their hands and ruthlessly slap themselves. A filter of barrier breaking that's 4 million gold coins, a draft that goes against the natural order at the price of cabbages, they actually missed it. They're pigs. The special drafts outside are selling like crazy, but it has nothing to do with Muyan in the space. During this time, she gave Chen Qingfeng very few drafts. It's not that she wants to engage in hunger marketing, but that she's really busy. She's been busy studying the Tian Mo Qin and the Shun musician skills. The Shun musician inheritance is directly sent to Muyan's mind. But to really master it, it's not as easy as it sounds on paper. Up until now, the Shun musician skills that Muyan has mastered are Zither Soundblade, which is used to attack, Echo Recovery, which is used to restore internal force, Mist Dispersing, which is used to disintegrate inner demons, and Spring Snow, which is used to assist in refining drafts. Do many of these skills look very powerful? But in fact, these are just the tip of the iceberg of the Shun musician skills. And Muyan's current Shun musician level is only at the pitiful first level. Many of the rare Shun musician skills can only be learned after the Shun musician level rises. There are also some skills, such as Echo Recovery, which are her group support skills. She can only start to master them after she reaches the second level. However, is it easy to level up as a Shun musician? As Muyan masters more and more Shun musician skills, she discovers that if she wants to level up as a Shun musician, it's far from enough to increase the internal force in her body. To put it bluntly, a Shun musician is a musician like a god. Musicians naturally had to understand music and control it. In order to control the rhythm, one would need great mental strength. Fortunately, Muyan belongs to the category of rebirth, so whether it is mind or mental strength, she is far more powerful than ordinary people. This is also the reason why the Tian Mo Qin would eventually recognize her as its master. However, it was still not enough to have a strong mind power. This is because, after a Shun musician breaks through to the third level, all skills that can be upgraded require spiritual power to be manipulated. But the current Muyan hasn't even grasped the threshold of spiritual power. On one hand, Muyan is playing the Tian Mo Qin, grinding the proficiency of each Shun musician skill, and in passing, improving her mental power. On the other hand, she's thinking about how to cultivate her spiritual power. Suddenly, a bang came from outside the space, and even the aura in the space fluctuated. She hurriedly left the space and followed the sound. Soon, she arrived at the backyard. She was dumbfounded by what she saw. She sees that there's a big hole in the west wall of the former Chen family's current Junji drugstore's backyard. A head was poking out from behind the hole. It seemed to be testing the length and width of the hole. Chapter 128. When he sees Muyen approaching, the man immediately looks over, revealing a fawning smile. "Miss Muyen, I'm really sorry, did I disturb you? Don't worry, this subordinate will get it done right away. I guarantee that it won't take more than the time it takes to burn a stick of incense." The person in front of her is Di Mingju's trusted subordinate, Han Yi. He's covered in dust, his entire face is dusty. When he grins, his white teeth are particularly obvious, and he looks especially silly. The corner of Muyen's mouth twitches. "What are you doing?" After a pause, she narrows her eyes suspiciously. "That's not right, why are you here?" If she remembers correctly, there should be a family of 4 living next door, right? Han Yi pats the dust off his body, and smiles faintly at Muyen, reporting to Miss Muyen, "This courtyard has been bought by our Jun Shong. Right now, Jun Shong and you are only separated by a wall. However, Jun Shong feels that this wall is not good, as it widens the distance between you and him. Therefore, this subordinate intends to open a door here, so that it will be much easier for you to meet in the future." Muyen simply wants to roll her eyes. Who wants to meet that guy? Moreover, someone who can silently appear in her room, does he need to break her wall if he wants to meet her? The corner of Muyen's mouth hooks up into a smile that isn't a smile, and she hooks her finger at Han Yi. In terms of age and cultivation, Han Yi is naturally far greater than Muyen. However, Muyen is Jun Shong's future wife, the Empress of the 3 realms. Han Yi doesn't dare to act rashly, and as soon as he's summoned, he obediently goes over. The smile on Muyen's mouth deepens. Her bright and beautiful complexion is like the blazing sun in the sky, making people not dare to look directly at her, but also happily yearning for her. Even Han Yi is dazed for a moment. He inwardly thinks that in the Shoshan continent, it's not that there aren't any who are more outstanding than Miss Muyen, but there isn't a woman like this girl in front of him. When she smiles, those pair of peach blossom eyes are overflowing with light, as if they can hook away a person's soul. It's no wonder that ever since their family's Jun Shong met Miss Muyen, he has been completely dominated. Just as he's thinking, he suddenly hears a clear and melodious voice. "Did your Jun Shong let you smash the wall?" Han Yi repeatedly nods. "Then do you know that this wall belongs to both your courtyard and mine?" Han Yi nods again. "If it wasn't like this, Jun Shong wouldn't have allowed it to be smashed." Muyen sneers. "Since you know that this courtyard also belongs to me, why did you smash it?" This, Mu Yang stretches out her slender jade hand and grabs Han Yi's collar. Her tone is languid. "So, I'll give you half an hour to obediently mend this wall for me, otherwise, do you understand?" "You understood." Only then does Muyen loosen her grip in satisfaction. Patting Han Yi's wrinkled collar, she leisurely leaves. After Muyen's figure disappears, Han Yi abruptly comes back to his senses. Heavens, he was just intimidated by the imposing manner of a mortal from Yenwu continent. It's over. It's over. All. He had no power to resist. Han Yi covers his face. Even if it's a woman that Jun Shong fancies, this is too scary. An hour later, Mu Yang came to the backyard again. Seeing that the wall had been mended, she nodded in satisfaction. However, just as she returned to her room, she hears a knock on the door. Aunt Chen pushes open the door and comes in. Behind her are 4 people, each carrying 2 heavy wooden boxes. Chapter 129. Auntie Chen also has a strange expression on her face. These 4 people said that they were entrusted by someone to give it to Miss, but they refused to say who entrusted it to them. The 4 people are taciturn. After putting down the wooden box, one of them respectfully hands a letter to Muyen. Strange. She shouldn't know anyone in Xia and R. Who would write a letter to her? Just as she's thinking, Auntie Chen opens the box and exclaims, "Oh, there's a lot of jewelry." Muyen looks up and sees that the box is stuffed to the brim with gold, silver, and jewelry. Although the quantity doesn't seem to be as much as Jin Wangye's, it far exceeds in terms of quality and value. Especially the dozens of rainbow-colored gems inside. Any one of them would be priceless if taken out. "Miss Jun, who gave this to you?" Could it be that someone proposed marriage to you again? Muyan suspiciously opens the letter. When she sees the contents, her face immediately fills with black lines. Auntie Chen really guessed it right, at least half of it. Because what is written in the letter is, Muyan, my wife idle and bored, I send 2 boxes of worldly goods for you to enjoy. Not a betrothal gift. At the end, it's signed with the word Ju in a dance of dragons, phoenixes, and phoenixes. The man's domineering, callous, and disdainful majesty is vividly displayed in this word. She doesn't need to think to know who sent these things. Di Ming Ju. So, this is what he meant by pursuing. First smashing the wall, then throwing money. So direct, so crude, so vulgar. Moreover, when did she agree to marry him? He actually opens his mouth and calls her my wife. Muyan stares at the few lines in the letter. When she sees the last 3 words, not a betrothal gift, the corners of her mouth can't help but hook up into a playful smile. The point is, he's still so petty. Are these 3 words ridiculing the shabbiness of Jin Wangye's betrothal gifts? Just as Muyan is considering how to deal with these worldly goods for her to enjoy, Chen Qingfeng, who was supposed to open a shop in the front yard, hurries over, saying that someone wants to see her. And the person who wants to see her is an unexpected person. Muyan picked up a cup of tea and gently took a sip. Only then did she raise her head to look at the woman sitting in front of her. She faintly smiled and said, Miss Yu Yang paying a visit to my little shop is really a rare guest. The woman sitting on the opposite side is wearing a purple dress and light muslin. Her eyebrows aren't smiling, but they contain affection. She is the famous ghost envoy of Xi'an's ghost city, Miss Yu Yang. Miss Jun, please don't say that. Right now, you're Xi'an's most sought-after draft master. If you're willing to visit our ghost city, then you'll be our ghost city's honored guest. Ruyan is deeply indebted to you. It is truly shameful for me to visit you today. Yu Yang stands up and gracefully salutes Mu Yang, her expression incomparably sincere. After sitting down again, she says, in fact, I came here today to represent Ghost City to invite you, Miss Jun. Oh, invite me? Muyan leisurely says, I'll say this in advance, I don't intend to consign my drafts for sale in the Ghost City for the time being. Yu Yang promptly shakes her head, Miss Jun, you've misunderstood. Nowadays, who in Xi'an doesn't know that only Junji Drugstore has special drafts that have nature-defying effects? The rules set by Junji Drugstore are also the most stringent. No matter how much money, no matter how much power, you can't make Junji Drugstore compromise and change the rules. Since that's the case, you still want to invite me? You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.